Today I'm up in the big shed. It's cold, which is why I'm wrapped up nicely in my fluffy hood. Don't know if you can see me. I'm up in the big shed. I'm going to plant some seeds and show you what I'm planning on sowing. I've also been working on one of the beds near the patio in my back garden to try and get that sorted, ready for some cut flowers. Yeah, I want to get my cut flowers in there because the cat is enjoying it far too much to put any edibles in there. So it's going to be made into an ornamental bed, and the edibles will just be going in the allotment and the veggie patch up the top of the garden. So let me show you what I'm going to sow at the moment. Right, so even though I'm down in the southeast of England, and so compared to some other parts of the UK, I'm nice and warm, it's still a bit cold, and so I want to make sure that everything I sow is still quite hardy. So there's only a few things really that I'm going to be sowing now. It's a bit early to do anything else, but I'll share with you later on in the month what I'm sowing then as the weather starts to warm up. So the first thing I'm sowing is radishes, so two variety of radishes. One I've not grown before, but the other one I have. So the one that I've grown before is this one. So this is a radish called Viola. They really are that purple. They're quite spicy, but I enjoyed these, and the girls like growing them because they grow so fast. So I plan on multi-sowing these this year rather than putting them direct into the soil. I'm going to multi-sow them in clumps, in modules, and then I'm going to pop them into the ground as a little group. So that's one of the radishes. The other radish that I'm doing is these ones, French breakfast. I've not grown these ones before. They're sort of long, thin ones from the looks, but I'm excited to try those. I like the fact that they're like a two-tone colour. So I've got the bright purple ones, and then I've got the two-tone ones. So those are the radishes that I'm going to be growing. Right, the next thing I'm going to be growing is Swiss chard. Now I love these because they're really pretty. They're all different colours. You get you get white, yellow, there's pinks, and like a really dark ruby red as well, which has got a darker leaf. Now I like the little leaves in salads, but then also use it like spinach and things as well. So these are really yummy. I like those, and once again I'm going to be multi-sowing these and planting them out in clumps, and these grow really well. My rabbits love them too. So these grow really well even in the cold weather. Right, next one, open packet, so I'll try not to spill. See, are beetroots. These are bolt hardy. Now I don't really eat the roots. I know that seems really silly to be growing things that I don't eat, but I do eat the leaves. I like them in my salads. Occasionally I'll have some roasted beetroot, but most of the time I just give it to my mum. My dad calls these the vegetable of Beelzebub. He hates beetroot. Always makes me laugh when he calls them that. So yeah, we grow these. Once again, they're going to be multi-sown into modules and sown out, and I will be picking the little leaves quite regularly, and then when the leaves get to the point where they can't really be eaten, I'll let them grow, and I'll give the roots and all to my mum so she can enjoy them. No doubt I'll find someone else that wants to eat them too. So another one is spring onions. These are white Lisbon. These are the ones that I've grown every year. I've never tried any other ones. If you've got any recommendations of spring onions that are good to grow, let me know. But I should be growing these ones again. Once again, planning on multi-sowing them, growing them in clumps, because then I could just pull the whole lot out and I've got like a bunch of onions for the week or for the couple of days or for a recipe. And last but not least, I have got these little things. So I've got 2 varieties of lettuce. I've got this one, which is my favourite. This is the Little Gems. They're a cos style lettuce and they heart up. But these grow beautifully. I've never had any problems growing these, and they're my favourites. Now I won't be multi-sowing these because I do want to grow them for the hearts, although I might try and grow them this year and sort of take some of the leaves from the outside and then let the rest sort of heart up. So these are yeah, Little Gem Delight. So I'll be growing those. And another one, I found these ones this year. This is new. Let me know if you've grown it before. I think it's called Valmain. And these are like a cut and come again, only you don't cut them. Like I said, you take the leaves from the outside and use the leaves as you need them. So, and it looks like romaine lettuce. And romaine lettuce is my favourite to eat. Little Gems are my favourite to grow because they always look so lovely. And I don't seem to get much pest problems with them, at least not in my garden. Obviously the allotment's new, so if I put any up there, we'll soon find out. But yeah, so I'm going to grow these this year and give them a go. Let me know if you've tried it. Yeah, Valmain. I think these came in a magazine, one of the Grow Your Own or Kitchen Garden, one of those sorts of magazines. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get sowing. So this compost that I'm using is seed and cutting compost. Most of the seeds I'm using today are quite big, but some of them are particularly tiny. So I'm using the seed compost just so that those particularly tiny seeds, yeah, can grow. Right. What to start with. So I've got my trusty tool again. You might have seen this on my pricking out video. It's like a tiny little mini seed spade and then a pointy thing. I don't know what it's actually called. It came in some sort of a kit and it's proved useful. Oh, excuse me. Right, so I'm going to multi-sow these. I'm going to make little holes. Beetroot seeds are quite big. You see? They're quite big, and some of them they're like little clusters of seeds. So I don't know if you can see, like here's just like, that's a single seed by itself, but this one's got like a couple joined together. So when they germinate, sometimes you can get 1, sometimes you can get 2, sometimes you can get none. So I want to try and get 4 or 5 little seedlings in each module. So I'm gonna sow four seeds, which may turn out to be clumps of seeds, and then I'll just thin them later. Oh, right, let's crack on with this. Right, so I have no idea where I've put my labels at the moment, so I'm just going to steal one of these from the shed, and then I know what's in these 2 trays, hopefully. At least it will assist with me working it out. Right, next I've got the viola seeds, which aren't actually violas, they're radishes. Can you see them? They're quite big seeds again, so these are nice and easy to plant. And I want to try and get 5 in each one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, as these multi-sown things grow, in theory, they push each other apart as they grow together. Can't remember if I put any in that one. Oh well, we either get loads or none. Yeah, as they grow together, they push each other apart. So you just pick out the biggest one, and then the rest have a bit more space to grow. So that's fun, and it means that they take up less space. A couple more. Now, radishes can grow really, really fast when it's good weather for them. So these you can sow in between other things and not have to worry about whether or not they're going to cause trouble, because they'll be out and eaten well before most other things have even finished growing. So yeah, they're the viola ones. Right, next we're going to do the French breakfast ones. Same as before. Open them up. Oh look, these aren't in a packet either. How many seeds do you get in here? Well, it said you get 150, but I'm not convinced. Oh, there might be. There you go. Can you see them? They're decently sized again. Let's get them all planted. Right, so that's one tray done. Doesn't look like much at the moment, but fingers crossed, in a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. How long does it reckon it takes to germinate? A week. Yeah, so in a week or so, we should have some nice little seedlings. Right, so this one I'm gonna try and cut down here, because the other ones I kept as a whole tray just because they all germinate at roughly sort of the same time. These ones I'm planning on putting 2 rows of the Swiss chard, the bright lights, and the rest of them is going to be spring onions. Now these take sort of a week, tops 2 weeks. These can take up to 3 weeks just to germinate, so they're certainly not going to be ready to be shifted and put outside at the same time. So I figure if I try and cut this in half, how successful I'll be, I do not know. I'm going to try and cut these, and then I can sow my seeds. Wow, that was easier than expected. Always a bonus. Right, time to fill them up. Right, so I've got one side for my, I'll turn them around. One side for my bright lights, the Swiss chard, and I've got one side for the spring onion. Let's see, wants to be 60. Oh, these ones are in a little 4-pack. Right, so these are tiny black seeds. I mean, they're still easy enough to handle. Now I'm going to plant about 8, maybe up to 10 in each clump. They need to go around about 1/2 inch or 1.5 centimeters deep. So make my holes and then plant them all up. The only thing with these ones is you can't see them when you put them in the compost, so you just have to sort of hope that they've all gone in. I'm going to fill the holes as I go along, because there's no hope of me seeing if I've put any in. Right, so these ones are the Bright Light Swiss chard. Now, there's no telling what colour you're going to get in these. I try and tell them apart, but they're like the little beetroot seeds, you know. I don't know if you can see. Little clusters of seeds, sort of. They look a bit like, have you ever had those meringues with like the cream in the middle? They look a little bit like that. So yeah, I'm just going to sow 3 of these sort of clusters in each module and see what comes out. I don't want to grow too many because, I mean, chards can get quite chunky even if you just have one plant. So I'm just going to sow 3 per module, and then they'll all live together happily, hopefully. 3, 1. Right, another one all sprayed up, labelled, ready to go over to the table to hopefully grow. Right, so the lettuces I'm sowing a little bit different, mainly because I want to have single heads. These ones so I can pick the leaves off from the outside. These are the Valmain, and these ones so I can just take the head of lettuce whole, which is the little gems. I wanted to say ice gems those, but those are biscuits, aren't they? Yeah, the little gems. And the Valmain I'm going to be growing in here. I'm just going to really thinly sow them, cover them with compost, let them germinate and prick them out and put them into modules by themselves to grow on. It's just an easier way of doing it. Saves compost, because if the seeds don't germinate, it's not the end of the world and I haven't wasted an entire tray of, or an entire module of compost, which I know doesn't seem like very much, but when you're doing it over and over again, it gets quite wasteful. So I'm going to spray the compost first, make it really wet where the lettuce seeds are going to go, so they've got a nice moist place on which to lay. That's big enough. I've already forgotten which ones I've got. Right, little gems. Oh, and they came with a little label. That's handy. So these I've been using for a couple of years now, and I've still got the rest of the packet. This in theory is the last year I can sow them according to their best before date. I'm hoping that, although I might get a lower rate of germination, these are quite small, these ones, although I might get a lower rate of germination, they should still grow, hopefully. At least some of them should. So the little gems are going in here. I'm just going to sow them thinly on the top. That'll be enough. Oh goodness, now I've got to try and get them back in here. It's going to be fun. Now that's the little gems, and it came with this really neat little label, so that saves me using my paper. Sadly this one did not, but at least as I know it's just lettuces in here, I know which ones are the Valmain because they are clearly not the little gems. Oh, another little foil packet. I wonder how big these seeds are. Let's have a look, shall we? I'm wondering if they're going to look the same as the little... Oh, look, they're a different colour. These are really pale. The other seeds are quite... Oh, I don't know what that is. The other ones were really dark, but these are really quite pale. They look almost like grass seed. It'll be interesting to see whether the seedlings look much different. At least I can see where I've put them on the compost. Right, that'll be more than enough. A little more sensible way of opening the seed packet this time. Okay. Just going to spray them again. Hopefully the little bit of spray won't displace them too much. And then I'm going to cover them up with a little bit of compost. Done! Now, these ones in theory should germinate within like 10 days, so tops a week. If they haven't germinated in tops 2 weeks. If they haven't germinated in 2 weeks, they're not gonna. So I shall check that then, and then once they're up and they've got their baby leaves, so not their true leaves, but their first little sets, then I'll prick them out with my handy little tool and pot them on, so that they can grow for a few weeks before they go outside when it's not as cold. Some of them I might grow on in the greenhouse just to give me a little bit of an earlier crop, but we'll see. I've maybe still not cleaned it out, sorry. Right, put these on the table with the others and I'll show you what I've got. So, got my little pak choys that I potted on last time. They're starting to get their first set of true leaves now. You see them, they're really tiny little things. So that's cool, but they're growing quite nicely in there. It's still cold, so everything's growing really slowly. My leeks are still looking dinky, but some of them are getting like a second leaf now. I don't know if you can see. This one here has got that second, well, it's quite hard to see in the light, sorry. Got that second tiny little leaf coming out of it now, so that's cool. Then I've got the ones that I've planted up today. The ones that I've still not got round to pricking out. Strawberries that need to go out in the bed, which we've got the timber for now. We just need to get round to getting up to the allotment to do it. Sweet peas are coming on nicely. I might wait for just a little bit more height and then I shall oh, what's it called? I like top them out, you know, like pinch out the growing completely forgotten. Pinch out the growing part and then hopefully they should split out and you get like a bushier plant. And then these ones which I've planted this evening. So yeah, quite a lot now. I still can't get into the greenhouse because I need to clean it, and Mr. Man's not very happy that I've taken up his shed, so I shall have to get sorted out there and then I can get these back out. So thanks again for joining me on another video. I hope you enjoy watching them because I really enjoy making them for you. Just a short one today to show you what I've sown, how I've done it. This is my first year of trying to multi-sow things to try and save on a little bit of space, because although my allotment is a much bigger space than I've had previously, in comparison to some it's actually quite a small plot, so I want to cram as much in as I can. If anybody's done the multi-sowing method, please let me know how you got on, if there's any tips you can share. But yeah, that's it for today. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, like and subscribe to my channel so you can catch the other videos, and I'll see you next time. Thank you again. Bye bye.